Good day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. Before I get into this video, I'd like to ask you all to please leave a like or comment on my video, consider subscribing to my channel, and if you dislike the content, please leave a comment. Now, this is a little bit of a special video because it's not something that I'm going to repeat over and over again, but this is something that you can do in terms of playing the game. Now, while you're playing the game, there might come a time when you're forced to play simple all over again. So basically, you reset back to the very beginning, your first two ships or your first ship, and you don't have the ISK to rebuild, or you don't have a complete fleet to go to. So the only thing that you have is a basic ship and level 1 anomalies to fight. So you basically gone back to the start, and you don't have that much at your disposal. So what are you going to do to grow back to the end game level in gameplay? Now I am actually going to go through this in small little pieces, and hopefully you will find this here um, a bit helpful. But this is a hard way to do it. Now I'm saying that you're a solo player, your corporation is failed or your corporation has dissolved due to a war or something of the sort, and you're the last person left from your alliance. You can't find another alliance to take you in. You don't have friends in the game, and you don't want to give up the game, so you want to restart on your own. So go into high sec to the point ones and the point 0.9 sectors and farm the easy level 1 and level 2 anomalies. Now, when you're farming them, collect every single piece of gear that drops. It doesn't matter what it is, just collect it. Now, once you have all the gear collected and you have now started gathering it up, I'm just going to show you something. Now, with the small little gear that you have collected, you now have the option to start uh, selling and reproducing the materials across a wider range of the sector. And this can actually help you in a massive way. It can help you distribute your resources. It can help you build up new ships. Basically, it can help you crawl up a little bit from that dead space where you are in that entry level all over again. Now, reprocessing, even with the basic skill of level 1, does give you quite a bit of resources. Now, I'm actually going to do this here once again, even though there is a video of me reprocessing, but I'm going to go through some of the equipment uh, in my vault. So MK3 is a lot higher than you're going to be able to get your hands on, but I am actually going to just reprocess one or two items. Now, I don't have any other materials here, but I'm going to start with this one. So there I go, I just reprocessed it, and I'm now going to go down through all of my materials. And as you can see, of a MK3 I got 5000 titanium, 1238 pyrite, 423 maxallion, I got isogen, and I got noxium. Now these materials may not seem like they're so expensive, but one of them is actually quite expensive. I'm just going to open the market value. If you look at that, that's 2000 per piece, and at 20 that instantly gives me 40,000 ISK to start the rebuild process. And once more, going onto the market, let's see what this here actually entails for me if I am moving forward and want to rebuild. Now, if I'm going to rebuild, I'm going to rebuild slowly through the faction classes so that I can fight again. I'm going to go straight into my ships. I'm going to look at the various options. I'm going to look for a cheaper option over a very expensive option. So 170 million ships will be a good idea. Comment if I'm correct. This is a railgun option. Oops, this isn't what I'm looking for. Corax torpedo option. I'm looking for a cheap Corax. Nah, I can't find a cheaper Corax. I'm only finding more expensive ones. Okay, so if I was looking to start up, Corax Trainer. There we go, something I didn't even notice. Now, how much is the ship on the market? 150,000. with one piece of gear, I'm already almost at that level. Now, if I keep dissolving more and more gear, eventually I'm going to be able to afford it. And once I can afford it, I can afford rigs and rig out this ship. So I've already stepped up to a level 4 ship. Now, with the level 4 ship, I'm going to grind out again, grind out a little bit bigger, maybe a level 3, level 4, getting MK3, MK4 gear. And with all of this, the increase of materials will continue to flow in my favor. And eventually, I might have 100,000 or 200,000 ISK in a single material. Now, depending on how much you have collected, it will determine how much the value is that you're actually holding on to. And the higher the levels that you can farm, the better it is for you. Now, these are just the basic small anomalies. That's what you need to farm to get in quickly. The bounties are very tiny on them, so they aren't really going to benefit you in that way. But this is a solo guide for getting back in the game. Now, once you're at the stage where you have farmed out 2 or 3 days, you're going to get back into the whole idea of doing encounters. Now, once you start doing your encounters, you're going to go after the rare encounters, the difficult encounters, and all of this is going to give you a nice boost to your ISK. At which point, you can jump up to a cruiser. Now, cruisers are a lot more powerful than your starting point of a destroyer. Remember, the destroyers were just in that 150,000, 200,000. You wanted to keep it low in terms of spend. It was all about the quick build. Now, considering that this is a big step up, almost 10 million, you're going to grab yourself a Caracal trainer. Now, let's say that you already sold your trainer and all of that. Once you have it, now you can actually take on level 5, 6, and 7 encounters. But remember, level 7 encounters are going to be a little bit difficult. They're going to pose a little bit of difficulty for you. If the patch does go through and they do get super difficult, you still can take them even with this here. Now, I'm not doing another patch video. I've already given out all that I can. And you know what? I want to get back to the fun. That's why I'm doing these videos. But let's say that the patch does go through and we do need to do this here because your corp is dissolved or you're rejoined or whatever the case is and you're all alone. So then you're going to go up to a trainer vessel. Remember, I'm saying Caracal because I'm thinking of missiles. You can choose any other weapon. You don't have to choose the exact same thing as me. You could have decided to go with a Vexor and went up the drone route. You could have went with a Omen. You could have went with a Mauler. All of this is up to you. Now, if I'm correct, there's a Mauler trainer. It's almost as expensive. Omen trainer is cheap. Vexor trainer is very cheap. Yeah. So those were your options on where you could start from and where you could start growing. And as you can see, there's the Stabber trainer. It's also in the same class of pricing. So you can really start up at any one of these. Now, as you keep running through them and you start building them up, you're not going to jump from one ship to the next ship to the next ship. You're going to try and go straight for the big ship. So you're going to go for a Navy issue. Now, that is the next ship that you should be purchasing. And as you can see, it's an easy 60 million. Now, with all of the small things that you're grinding, you're also going to earn missions. You're going to be able to take on missions. Soloing them is still going to be possible. No matter how much they puff up the difficulty, you're going to be able to solo. It's just going to be a little bit tiresome, and it might take you 2 or 3 days at the maximum if it becomes too difficult. So with that all being said, you now take on the mission. You kill a difficult enemy, you loot it as fast as possible, and you sell the loot on the market, and that's where you're making your extra ISK. So after a day or two, you have a nice load of ISK sitting for you, and you farmed up quite a bit of resources. Now, you can actually get as much resources as the miners by dissolving materials. So this is where it's a slight imbalance in the whole situation, but technically you are using a mining skill for this, so it is fair. A miner can do the exact same thing, and they can run simple missions and simple scouts, or have their corp where they're building materials for the exchange of the MK gear and keeping challenger gear or all elite gear or faction gear for the players. and there is a fair trade in terms of a corp where they're doing either way, and you don't have to continuously buy ships. Now, going on, you're going to get into your Navy issue, you're going to build it up. Now, Navy issue ships are much stronger. They can handle a little bit greater challenges than a trainer. So maybe level 7, 8, 9 you can push with your Navy issue, and with the right fittings, it's going to be able to handle all the way to the max level of the game. Now, let's say that you weren't a cruiser main, but a battle cruiser. Now, once you get to the level where you could buy a Navy issue, instead of buying the Navy issue, you're going to keep saving another 2 or 3 months more. And, okay, wrong thing there. And finally, you're going to arrive at the level where you can purchase your Cyclone. So it's going to take you 3 times longer. Maybe it will take you 3 weeks, maybe it will take you 3 days. It all depends on how fast you can grind up ISK. And here you are. You now have 220 million ISK, and you're going to purchase yourself a Cyclone. Now, this big Cyclone that you've purchased is your cash cow. Basically, you're going to grab it, you're going to make it your flow in the game, and from it you're going to be able to grow further, and you're going to build it up at 2 or 3 billion. You're going to put on the basic fittings, run it through missions, get better fittings, get it stronger, get it better. Eventually it's going to be worth maybe like 400-500 million, and you're going to be able to start farming about 100 or 200 million a day. Then it's going to be worth about a billion, 2 billion, maybe 2.4 billion, depending on the price of things. If we enter T8 and you want to put on more expensive fittings, and with all of that, you have a fantastic ship. And you're in T8, so that means the T8 vessels are open for you. You might think of buying a Drake. As you can see, 7 weapon slots, a little bit more power, a better ship, and all of this is now at your disposal. And that is the way that you get back in the game, and it's the simplest things that can get you back in. Now, this is just a little bit of a video to say getting back in the game from zero. This is one of the ways you can do it. I have said this before. I think I've done something similar and showed you something similar, but this is just with a little show and a little bit of an explanation on how you're going to climb. Now, buying equipment isn't always very cheap. So as you buy cheap equipment and you upgrade to more expensive as you can afford it. And once you can afford C-type equipment, you fit C-type equipment on your ship, and you'll have a very strong ship in the end. And that is going to be your key to play. Now, with all of this being said, there's a lot of things which I haven't explained. And I haven't explained the amount of choices that you're going to be facing when you're going up through this. Now, when you reach something like level 8, other options will open to you, and you're going to be able to do things a little bit differently. You're going to be able to purchase, okay, wait, not battle cruisers. I want to go down to the battleships. You're going to be able to purchase the battleships. Now, some players have the blueprints for these ships, and once T8 opens, you're going to be able to purchase them. They're going to be ridiculously expensive, and once you've purchased them and get them all ready, bravo for you. You have a nice strong ship, and you can now fight in an even higher level of the game. Now, this is all up to you. If you follow everything in the game, you can get to this point, and it can be a rather simple thing for you to do for the end game. Now, I hope that you all get to this point, and I hope that most of you are going to be playing with us in that point when everybody is heavy into enjoying all the aspects of the game. You jump around on PvP on the weekends, or you PvP randomly in the week. You jump into Null, you go and pick up a fight with a corp who hit one of your teammates, or you go and grab a bunch of gate campers and bust their entire camping, or you go into the middle of a corp stronghold and you trigger up a big fight by hitting their miners or something like that there. Those are all the things that you're going to be able to do. You just have to hang on and hang in the game a little bit longer. If things don't go right, just hold on to that little bit of while in the game and hope that things come right in the end. So thank you all for watching. I hope you've had a good day.